Hi everybody. Okay, this is a special video for those of you who have taken a painting class with me. This is a private video that you are only watching because you got an invitation from me with a link in it. So this is an extra free little painting lesson. I'm going to show you how to paint from a photograph. I got permission to use this photograph. I'll pull it out of the sleeve. From a friend. This is of Santa Cruz, California. So this is what I'm going to paint today. And I'm going to paint it in my art journal. You can paint it on whatever you want. We're going to use the Grumbacher paints that we used in class. The first thing that you'll notice on the photograph is I like it. I love the colors, but it's a little bit boring. So the horizon line's right in the middle of the photograph. So to make it more interesting, you need to move it up or down. I also want to paint it in my art journal, but I want to paint it instead of portrait, I want to paint it landscape. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to paint... Okay, that's my phone. Okay, I'm back. That was my phone ringing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my picture and I am going to reduce the dark part at the bottom. I'm just going to fold it. This is just something I printed on a blank 4x6 index card. And so that makes it already more interesting. I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to do it on my art journal page here, this way. I think that'll look good. I'm going to probably add some more grass and things, but I like the way the colors are in the sky, and the way the orangey golden colors are reflected in the water in the background. I really love that. So I'm going to get some colors of paint out, and I'm going to get my brushes, and I'll be back. Okay, so I don't know for sure what colors I'm going to use yet. I'm going to figure that out as I go, and you'll be right there with me. But I do have my standard complement of colors on my table. I have ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow light, titanium white, phthalo blue, cerulean blue, hooker's green, burnt sienna, raw umber, cadmium red light, and cadmium yellow medium. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a yellowy orange color, and we're going to do our horizon line across our page in that color first. Alright, let's see. So I'm going to take some cadmium yellow medium. A little bit of cad red light. And some titanium white. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some retarder so it doesn't dry out too fast. And I'm also going to have some cadmium yellow light on my palette. Some titanium white. Ultramarine blue. little bit of phthalo blue in that, and then a phthalo blue by itself. And a little bit of, oh, one color that we're missing, alizarin crimson. Here we go, this dark red color. Okay, that's going to get us started. We're going to do the sky first. Okay. So I want to okay. I'm going to blend this up. I'm going to add some of my yellow in as I'm going up. I'm also going to add in some white. I'm going to blend it. I'm going to make sure my page is covered with paint, but I'm not so concerned about painting out all the streaks. Again, we're using the photograph as inspiration, but we're not really trying to duplicate it exactly. We just want to get the same feeling. I like that. This is just drop paper to the side of my journal, something I just use when I'm at home to wipe my brushes on, so I don't waste any paint. And later I'll use it to collage something on. Okay, wipe my brush off. And I'm going to start from the top down with my phthalo blue. And it's right up against another art journal page. So this first stroke I'm just going to do kind of carefully. You don't have to do it so carefully if you're just working on a board or a loose piece of paper. I'm not going to fast forward and edit any of this video. I'm going to give you the whole thing in real time. So it might be kind of long. Okay, that works for me. So I'm going to blend the blue down. I'm going to mix up this other blue. Add some of that in. While the paint is wet, I'm going to add in some white. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush off again. At least mostly. I'm going to just stick with white now. And right here where the two colors meet. Need more white. Whoops. Well, these things happen. I think there needs to be white there, maybe. Just go with it. If you have something like that happen, call it a happy accident. And just go with it. There we go. I like that. So here's our sky, here's our inspiration photo. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, I'm gonna get it. Since I'm in my studio at home and I'm not in class, I have a lot of paintbrushes, so I'm gonna get a fresh brush. And now we are going to work on our ocean. I think I'm gonna change blues. I think I'm gonna go with a cerulean blue, which is more of a pale, like grayish blue. I still have all my other colors on my palette. I am going to put out some more white. Whatever is above the water would be reflected in the water. So that means we're going to also need to have some of our sky colors in the water. And I'm looking at the inspiration photo, and there are some dark, you know, patches, almost like there's a wave coming in. So we're gonna, you know, put that in. So let's see what we can do. All right, let's start with our blue. And where the ocean meets the sky would be a fairly straight line. Okay. I'm going to put in some white. And blend it down. Being sort of careful right up here that I don't go over my line into the sky. Like the sky, I'm not worried about blending everything in because it's just going to give my ocean some more interest and texture. So now I'm going to grab some of my dark sky blue and mix it with a little bit of the red, the alizarin crimson. Make it kind of a purpley color. And again, I'm not trying to duplicate the photo exactly. I want to just get the feeling of the photo. That's it. That's what I like. Now, I said something about things being reflected, didn't I? So I got to work on that. So I'm going to take a little bit of the orangey sky color. And I'm actually going to thin it down with some water. Now when I'm at home, I have a spray bottle. This is just an old spray starch bottle. Except, see, this is why you should have a clean paintbrush. It's green. That's not going to work. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? That's better. Okay. I'm thinning the paint out just to make it a little bit more translucent because I don't want to cover up all of this blue. I just want to put hints of what's happening in the sky into the water. And I'm barely touching my paintbrush to the paper. going to alternate that with a little bit of the yellow that I also used in the sky. That looks pretty good. I like it. All right. Next, let's work on our, I guess it's probably a sand dune in the foreground. You can see hints of some grasses, some tall grasses. I like that. So let's work on that. And it's dark, the sun is setting, so this is dark, it's in shadow. But I don't want to make it black, I want it to be brown, which is why I got out my burnt sienna and my raw umber. If you've taken class with me, you know we mix brown a lot in class. I do have brown and I prefer to do it that way and paint with brown. If you want to make a neutral color, mix your complementary colors together. Most of the time they're going to make a neutral. If you mix your three primary colors together, you're going to get some sort of dark blackish brown color. Most of the time though, if you mix your two colors across from each other on the color wheel, let's see, here we go. So if you mix yellow and orange, yellow, orange, and blue violet, you're going to get some kind of a neutral brownish color. That pretty much is true on each color that's across from each other on the color wheel. Alright, so if you need a neutral and you don't have a neutral, mix two opposite colors together. You're going to get some kind of a neutral, and just keep playing with your mixture until you get the neutral color that you want. I'm going to use these two. And I'm probably going to throw some of the red and orange in there too. Although this brown is kind of a reddish brown, so maybe not. We'll see. I'm going to start with a larger filbert brush, but I'm also going to use a smaller brush, like, let's see, this one. This is a round size 1. And then I'm going to also use, this is a filbert. This is a size 8, the size we use in class. Okay. So I'm going to start with this one to get my shape of my sand dune in there. So first I'm going to do this part. And I'm just this is the raw umber. And every now and then I'm going to just grab some of the other color. I want my sand dunes to end there. Okay. Kind of goes up here on this side, so let's do that. I'm just tapping it onto the wet paint. We're going to put grasses and things on here, but I want to give this underneath part some texture. The more you do to the background before you put in the foreground, the less you have to worry about covering up or altering with whatever's in the foreground. And I like the shape of that, I like the color of that, I like the texture of that, so I'm going to leave it. Okay. Now we're going to switch to our small brush, and we are going to water down our two browns. Grass is easier to do if your paint is thinner and more inky. When I'm not teaching class or I'm painting on my own, I usually use a fluid acrylic for things like grass and eyelashes, but you can also use a good artist quality paint and just water it down. It shouldn't do anything to the pigments. Now I'm going to take some artistic license with the grass. You'll notice that we have our tall grasses, we have some like bushes with leaves. I really like these grasses, so I'm going to take a little bit of artistic license with how I do the grass. Whoops. Now I gotta fix that. Let's see. There we go. All fixed. Oops. Now, to give the piece a little bit more interest in the foreground, you can also add black. You can even add some black to your brown, which I think I'm going to do. So I have a Lucas liquid acrylic. Any black will do, though. I'm just going to put out a little bit. It just gives me a different shade of brown. So mix up a few browns by mixing your complementary colors together, or get some black out and mix it to your brown. Something that'll just give you something that's a varying shade and tone. It'll give the grass more interest. If you've done grasses with me before, you know I do this kind of thing all the time. The one thing I'm not going to do that I normally do is put in, probably, I won't put in any yellow in the grass, which is something I usually always do. You can also use the black to kind of give these a shadow. Okay. Okay. The other thing I'm noticing is there is some like dark reddish colors in the grass where the sun setting is shining through the grass. So I'm going to mix up a dark orangey reddish brown color. Let's see. So I've got my burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, that already made it dark reddish brown, so let's grab a little bit of the yellow. Make it more orangey. Yeah, that works for me. Okay. I just want to be careful where I put these, because I don't want them... They would not be down here, they would be up at the top here. Just a light, quick stroke of your paintbrush. And it really does bring it to life. If you want tall, really thin grass, then you need a really light touch on your brush and more of a runny paint. going to go back to my filbert brush, and I'm going to alternate with some of my colors. In fact, I'm going to just grab a whole bunch of them on my brush together. And it's watery and thin, which is fine. Don't be afraid to get your fingers in there. Again, I'm just tapping. Like that. Let's see. I'm gonna do a little bit more. This is a really small brush. This is tiny, teeny, tiny. It says 10/0. I don't know what that means, but it's little teeny tiny. So just keep layering your colors in your grass, alternating between your browns and your oranges, even some black, keeping in mind that this is all in shadow, so you don't really want to use any bright colors, or not too many at least. Be careful if you do put brights where you put them. have a piece of deli paper here between my pages so I don't get them all stuck together. But there we go. I like it. When it dries, because it's in my art journal, I'll date stamp it with my date stamp. But there we go. Try painting that. See what you think. See how you like it. Have fun playing with your paints and making art. And I hope to see you in class. Bye.